All right, welcome everyone here and those viewing via live stream. My name is Lori Lynn Turner. I'm the Associate Director of the Creative Writing Program. And we've been co-hosting the Publishing Triangle Awards for, I don't even remember how many years, at least 20, maybe 20 plus. And I've been working with them for some of those years, many of those years. Okay, a few thank yous. At the New School, John Reed, Luis Jaramillo, Bianca Lomani, Camila Marchiz Gonzalez, Hajab Ahmad, Rebecca Baldwin, and our events IT group, Mark, Michael, Joe, Vlad, and of course Red Dog in the back. And at Publishing Triangle, I'd like to thank Emanuel Xavier, Rob Burns, Carol Rosenfeld, and all the Publishing Triangle board. And a friend to the Publishing Triangle board is Brian Berger. Also, I'd like to thank the finalists and families and everyone here tonight. Our MC for the evening is Emanuel Xavier, a writer, activist, and author of several poetry collections, including his newly released Still We Are Sacred. A longtime voice in LGBTQ+ literary spaces, his work centers on queer identity, resilience, and community. This marks his fourth time hosting the Publishing Triangle Awards. Let's give him a hand for that, right? Okay. And this evening, he will share a poem from Still We Are Sacred. Emanuel, can you come to the stage, please?
A person in love may start this poem with a fist unclenched, with the slow spilled glow of sun tripping over rooftops in the morning. It has been so long since we could tell the difference between what breaks and what begins. What is this aging body but an inheritance I did not ask for? A deaf ear pressed into prayer, a boy named for saints who never saved us. They call us hijo, but deny us the altar. Say we are born of sin, still touch our hands as they take our money. Our ancestors burned at the stake, died of the gay plague. Still, we kiss each other in the open. Still, we hold hands in the back pews. Still, we dream of oceans because our blood has always known agua as both escape and baptism. Our people wrote stories about loss. We were carved from a history that refuses to hold us, taught to hide joy behind our eyes, to speak love only in whispers. But we make a God of the little things, the song that takes us back to youth, the blue jays that visit for peanuts, the stars that still spell our names even after all this time together. I meant everything I ever said about survival, how even after the cages, the walls, the ballots against our breath, we still find ways to be whole. And when we return to the earth, we will remember how to fight, recognize the love. Thank you. That poem is from my new collection, Still We Are Sacred, available now everywhere. The work comes from love, fear, memory, survival, and yes, a little bit of I said what I said. So from that space, we begin. ¿Cómo está mi gente? Let's hear it for the New School and for Publishing Triangle. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the 2026 Publishing Triangle Awards. I'm Emanuel Xavier, your host for the evening. Back again because apparently I didn't mess up enough name pronunciations the last time. Thank you all for being here. Truly, look around. This is community. Writers, editors, agents, booksellers, librarians, publicists, readers, the people who make the magic happen. Because let's be real, books don't just appear. Somebody fought for that manuscript. Somebody stayed up late editing it. Somebody said, this story matters when the world said otherwise. And right now, that fight is real. Books are being challenged, pulled, banned by people who don't even read them. LGBTQ plus stories, especially those centering trans lives and young people, are being targeted again and again. And in publishing, coño, a lot of playing it safe. Mid-lists getting squeezed, independent presses doing the most with the least. But here's what they don't understand. We're not going anywhere. That's right. We're still writing, still publishing, still showing up, and not quietly. LGBTQ plus literature is everywhere. Every genre, every shelf, every conversation. You cannot box us in. They tried that already, and it didn't work. And honestly, the more they try to silence us, the louder we get. That's just facts. So yes, there are challenges, but there's also joy, brilliance, community, a future being written right now by the people in this room. Every book here is an act of resistance. Every voice is necessary. Every story is power. So thank you once again to the New School for holding space for us, because spaces like this are not guaranteed and never taken for granted. Side note, bathrooms are in the basement if you're taking the stairs. 4th floor if you need the elevator. Stay hydrated, stay fabulous, but if you gotta go, you gotta go. The Publishing Triangle has been championing LGBTQ plus literature since 1989. That's decades of saying we belong on the page, we belong in the story, we belong everywhere. So whether you leave tonight with an award, a new literary friend, or a little inspiration, just remember, our stories are not optional, they are essential, and so are we. Another quick housekeeping before we begin. Presenters get 1 minute, winners get 2, special awards recipients get 3. I know, writers and deadlines, but we're gonna make it work. And if anybody messes up somebody's name, take it from me, you'll be all right. So let's keep it moving, keep it joyful, keep it powerful. Now let's get into it. Okay. Our first award of the evening honors the people who keep the fire burning behind the scenes, making sure LGBTQ plus literature doesn't just exist, but lives out in the world, in libraries, classrooms, stages, and community spaces. In those moments when someone says, you need to read this, trust me, girl. The Publishing Triangle Torchbearer Award recognizes a non-publishing champion of our literary community, those uplifting our stories and making sure they travel. We don't hand out trophies, but all of our awards come with a cash tip. So with a $1,000 prize, this award is both a thank you and a reminder that visibility, education, and access still matter. And now we're about to bring out a legend. And as a former peer queen, I'm going to use that word several times tonight, but I don't use that word lightly. I'm talking iconic, or as we say in Spanish, icónico. Theater history, don't even play with him legend. Charles Busch is the author of The Tale of the Allergist Wife, which ran nearly 2 years on Broadway and received a Tony nomination for Best Play, and Vampire Lesbians of Sodom, one of the longest running plays in off-Broadway history. Mr. Busch is the recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Obie Award, and in 2024, he was inducted into the Theater Hall of Fame. Please give it up for the iconic Charles Bush.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're very, very kind. Thank you. Oh my. Well, I truly am just delighted to be presenting this Torchbearer Award, and I'm presenting it to a theater company. So I guess that's a little bit different, and they're so deserving. Now I'm going to put on my glasses, Warby Parker. Yes. I don't want to screw this up. And there are a number of names. If you leave somebody else's name off it, it's tacky. So I would like to say that now. So the Torchbearer Award goes to TOSOS, and that's TOSOS, and that stands for the Other Side of Silence. And it was founded in 1974 by a trio of artist activists, Doric Wilson, Billy Blackwell, and Peter Duvall. TOSOS was New York City's first professional gay theater company. And within 3 years, they had produced over 21 productions of work by playwrights including Noel Coward, Lanford Wilson, Robert Patrick, and Terrence McNally. Now I gotta say that Doric Wilson was just one of the most fascinating, outrageous people that I've ever met. And he was there at Stonewall, and his activism enriched his playwriting, and his plays made an impact on activism. When I was young, I would see him striding down Christopher Street all in leather with that bright red hair glowing, and I was just terribly intimidated. I just thought, oh my gosh, he's just going to tie me up and give me acting notes. However, it was many, many years before I actually got to know him, and really the last year of his life, we became, oddly enough, very close friends, and we used to just email each other back and forth every single night before we signed off to go to bed. So I kind of feel like I was his last lover in some ways. Now, after 25 years, TOSOS seemed to have come to its end, as most theater companies eventually do. However, in 2002, TOSOS was resurrected by two remarkable gentlemen, artistic director Mark Finley and managing director Barry Childs. Yes, please give them applause. With Doric Wilson acting as kind of their guardian angel in leather, they have kept TOSOS alive and thriving with revivals of the company's earliest plays, and more importantly, a constant flow of new plays by just all sorts of LGBT playwrights, and their work is really, really terrific. I saw their last play, and it was a marvelous new play. And they've developed a company of wonderful actors, including Michael Lynch and Christopher Borg. And I have to say, after seeing Borg in a TOSOS revival of Doric's Street Theater, I was so taken with this young actor that I just absconded with him. Yes, I just pinched him from TOSOS, and I've written 5 plays for Christopher Borg, but he still is very loyal to his original company, TOSOS. Now, along with board president Chris Anderson, the new TOSOS is now New York's oldest and longest producing LGBTQA+ theater company. And I think that deserves applause right there. So, it is my privilege to present the Torchbearer Award to TOSOS, and accepting the award is artistic director Mark Finley. This is all about how you get your money.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Charles. Hi, I'm Mark Finley. A little intimidated doing a speech in front of a room full of writers, but I'm going to do my best. A torchbearer is a person who is bearing a torch but it's also a way to refer to somebody who's the leader of a movement or a crusade or a campaign. So to my thinking, the original torchbearer was, as Charles mentioned, Dork Wilson, when he founded the company in 1974 as New York City's first queer theater company, and there wasn't anything like it. And like a good torchbearer, Doric inspired and led us to continue with this very important and necessary work. And here we are, 50 years later, still telling queer stories and holding our place in theater and social history. So on behalf of Tassos, of all of us at The Other Side of Silence, thank you for putting up with my extended metaphor, and we're very proud to be holding that torch high, lighting the way in these really dark times. Thank you very much.
Before we move on, we have something really special. And I mean special. Not every year, not every ceremony, a moment where we pause and say, this mattered, this changed things, this made space where there wasn't any. The Publishing Triangle Community Legacy Recognition, and yes, we just came up with this, honors a space that has held our stories, our people, and our books, and helped build community. A place where you could walk in and find yourself, or find each other, or find that one book that saves your life just a little bit. Because, let's be real, queer bookstores are not just bookstores. I know because some of you may remember me working the register at a Different Light bookstore way back when. They are sanctuaries, they are meeting places, they are resistance, they are home. And this one has been all of that and more. So tonight, we take a moment to say thank you, to honor that legacy, and to recognize an impact that will continue far beyond any one place or moment. Now, to present this recognition, we have someone who knows just how vital queer bookstores are to our communities. Jules Wernersbach is the founder of, give it up, is the founder of Hive Mind Books, a queer independent bookstore and coffee shop in Bushwick, Brooklyn, where I'm from. They've been a bookseller for 20 years, which means they've been putting the right books into the right hands for a long time. They are also the author of Work to Do, a novel about queer relationships and workplace organizing, published just this month by the University of Iowa Press. So they're not just building literary community, they're contributing to it. So please join me in welcoming Jules Wernersbach.
Finally in person. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Whoop. I am so happy to be here with all of you this evening to celebrate and recognize and honor the incredible work of Greg Newton and Donnie Holcomb, founders of, yes, please give it up, founders of the Bureau of General Services Queer Division. Woo! Yeah, like for real. For the last 13 plus years, Donnie and Greg have been making space for queer art, for queer literature, for queer community, for solidarity. A bookstore is so much more than the books on its shelves. We all know that, and Donnie and Greg certainly know that. And from their start over on Orchard Street in the East Village, Lower East Side, to now their home in the center, day in and day out, they have made space for queer people and queer artists to share their work with each other, to find one another, to find the right books. It's really incredible, and their impact has been felt. As many of you may know, Hive Mind Books is taking the reins of the Bureau as we somehow say not farewell to Donnie and Greg as they move to the West Coast, but see you soon and later. And the outpouring of support since we announced that news has just been such a testament to the incredible work they've done, the impact that they have had, and how they have really supported queer literature, queer writers, and queer artists. I've had the fun recently of going through hundreds of photos from the Bureau's history, and you just see performance after performance performance, reading after reading. You know, every author, queer author in the world has come through that bookstore, and it made me so emotional to see what they've built and to know that it will continue as well. So while we will miss them dearly as they move on, their hearts are going to beat in the Bureau forever, and we are honored to be able to continue their work. So let's please once again celebrate. There you are, Greg. I was like, where are you? Always surprising. Greg Newton and Donnie Holcomb. Woo! Yes! Woo! You get that.
Oh, I get a thing?
You get a thing.
Oh, thank you so much. I got to photograph this for Donnie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Donnie could not be here because he is in Portland doing his job, the job that has enabled us to keep the Bureau going all these years. But he sends his love. So thank you so much. We feel so honored to be here and to receive this recognition. We're also thrilled. It happened very surreptitiously that today we reached our fundraising goal, which is going to, yes, which will allow Jules to keep the Bureau going, which makes us leaving so much easier. We're really happy that that's happening. I want to give a special thanks to Rob Burns and Carol Rosenfeld because they have been tireless supporters of the Bureau. And a big thank you to the Publishing Triangle at large for hosting so many readings in our space and introducing us to so many authors. I do want to announce that we are going to have a going away party on Wednesday, May 13th at the center in the big room, not in the Bureau, so we have room to stretch out and dance. So please put that on your calendars. We want to see you there before we head west. Thank you, everyone.
And I'm going to try to be at that party. Now, before we get into poetry, happy National Poetry Month, my fellow poetas. And if you know anything about our community, you know this is where we tell the truth. Because poetry is not quiet, it is not polite, it is a voice that says what others are afraid to say and says it beautifully. And nobody did that like Audre Lorde. She didn't just write poems, she gave us language for our identities, our anger, our love, our survival. She said, we are here, and made sure nobody could ignore it. The Audre Lorde Award for Lesbian Poetry, established in 2001, honors that legacy. It recognizes a work that moves, challenges, disrupts, and sometimes makes you clutch your chest just a little bit. Because that's what great poetry does. It says what needs to be said. And tonight, we celebrate a book that carries that forward, a reminder that lesbian poetry is not a niche, it is necessary. And presenting this award is someone very special, so I want to take a moment. Patricia Spears Jones is an icon, period. A powerhouse in American poetry, a pillar of the New York literary community, and someone whose work has been in deep conversation with Audre Lorde's legacy for decades. Our movements are sustained not only by those who share the identity, but by those who show up, stand with us, and do the work. Not performative, not convenient, but present. And Patricia has been present. She is part of that lineage, that ongoing conversation, that community that continues to lift voices and make space for truth. So please give a warm welcome to the incredible, the legendary Patricia Spears Jones.
I know I'm short. I am so honored to do this, and I really did want to wear my Straight Ally t-shirt, but you know, When I saw Audrey at her height, she was always wearing these fabulous lilies and these beautiful. I said, I cannot wear no T-shirt for that. I am so pleased to tell you the names of the finalists for this wonderful award, the Audrey Lorde Award for Lesbian Poetry, and the winner. So the finalists are The Bay Kingdom by Ache Obeisha, Essential Poems by Pat Parker, edited by Sarah Ellen, and I hope I don't mess this up. Looks like Strayman. Who wrote this? Okay, I don't know. Let the Moon Wobble. Isn't that a great title? Let the Moon Wobble by Ali Ang. Lonely Women Make Good Lovers. Ain't it the truth? by Katja Cooper. So Far by Elizabeth Bradfield. And the winner is Ache Obeja. And I hope you're here. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. I just want to thank the Publishing Triangle. I want to honor the other women who were the nominees and shared this category with me. This book has a lot to do with legacy, with history. So I remember my mom in particular, my dad, and you know, the ex-wife who crushed me so that I could write part 2. And my sons, my fantastic sons, Ilan and Joseph, who I hope will grow up to be great men, good allies, and who will hold our community as their community in their hearts forever, as home. So thank you very much.
The Tom Gunn Award for Gay Poetry honors a poet whose work doesn't just sit on the page, it hits. Named for Tom Gunn, who gave us desire, honesty, and no filter, this award celebrates poetry that goes there, even when it's a little too real, because queer poetry confesses, testifies, calls you out, and sometimes has you like, okay, I need a drink after that. And tonight, we continue that legacy. Now, last year's presenter is back, because when you do it right, we call you again. And he has also helped shape this award alongside the judges, so yes, he knows exactly what he's doing. Poet and writer Reginald Harris was a finalist for a Lambda Literary Award for his first book, 10 Tongues, and won the 2012 Cave Canem Northwestern University Press Poetry Prize for his second autogeography. A member of the National Book Critics Circle and on the board of the Publishing Triangle, his work has appeared in numerous publications, including most recently This Is the Honey, an anthology of contemporary Black poets. Raised in Baltimore, Maryland, Reggie lives in Brooklyn, where he is a lead digital navigator for Brooklyn Public Library's Neighborhood Tech Help Program. Please welcome my poetry hermano, or sister, depending on who you ask, Reginald Harris.
I got a cane too, man. He didn't help me up the steps. Damn. As is fitting for someone who's works in tech, I'm having a technical issue right now, so talk amongst yourselves. I want to thank the writers, definitely. You really have saved my life, and so many other lives, so I thank you. And also, thank you all you readers, for reading us. And I I want to say hi to the live stream. I'm dancing, I'm sorry. And I also particularly want to, as a tech person, give a special shout out to the New School's pit crew, the techies back in the back. This is deeply embarrassing. I can't tell you. I'm perfectly prepared, except when I'm not. The nominees, actually, this is what I'm looking for. I had the list of the nominees right here, damn it. Huh? Damn. See? I know nothing. Nothing. Blind as a bat. So, the amazing nominees for this year's Tom Gunn Award are Brian Borland, Brotherful, Richard Sykin, I Do Know Some Things, C. Dale Young, Building the Perfect Animal, New and Selected Poems, Sea Beast by Rajiv Mohiber, and Willowhammer by Patrick Donnelly. Although we are announcing one winner in all of these categories, as a librarian reader, I want to say to you, read them all. Please. You're going to have a wonderful time. And the Tom Gunn Award goes to I Do Know Some Things by Richard Sykin. Don't be scared, younger poets, that all of us have. Congratulations.
When I was in graduate school, I had a professor tell me that everything I wrote would be seen as a political act, and that I could embrace it, wrestle with it, or complicate it. I wasn't sure that I agreed, but I thought about it. I published a book in 2005. It was aggressively queer. It was aggressively everything. Some people praised it for being a brave book. I didn't see it as an act of bravery. I just didn't think I needed to be ashamed. You can argue that publishing those poems was a political act, that the fact that I exist is a political act, that addressing queer desire is a political act. I don't know how I feel about this, but it feels true. In 2019, I fell down, lost the use of my right side, and forgot who I was. I forgot how to use language, and I had to rebuild a self, sentence by sentence. I started writing as an act of reclamation. The content was queer, the context was queer, and surprisingly, the language was queer. It was full of doubt and questioning. There were things I just wouldn't take for granted. I was rebuilding a self that was fundamentally more flexible and open to transformation, that was fundamentally and deeply gay. It wasn't what I thought I was doing. I thought I was talking about recovering from a stroke. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't even know how to talk about it, but I think it's worth sharing. Sometimes I forget that I'm gay, which means sometimes I forget that I'm in danger. 20 years ago, I always felt like I was in danger. I breathe more easily these days, but there is still danger. I'm glad to be here with you all to celebrate our lack of shame, our bravery in the face of everything. Thank you.
Now we move into a category that is not just important, it is urgent. Because literature is resistance, and nobody understood that better than Leslie Feinberg. The Leslie Feinberg Award for Trans and Gender Variant Literature honors fearless writers who are breaking rules, breaking binaries, and telling stories the world still tries to silence. Named after the legendary author of Stone Butch Blues, this award celebrates trans and gender-expansive storytelling across genres, across forms, across everything. Because our stories don't fit in boxes, and we're not trying to. Now, before we get to the finalists, I just want to say something. Last year, I did mess up a name badly. Like, I went home and thought about it for 3 days. So tonight, we're going to do this together. I'm going to say these names, and if I mess up, just clap louder. Support me. Let's take a moment to get these names right. Here are this year's finalists. Gender Trash from Hell, edited by Mir Ha Salil Ross. Sounds about right, right? Okay. Local Woman by Jazul JMZ. Marsha, The Joy and Defiance of Marsha P. Johnson by Tourmaline. They, She, He, Ritual to Forget Your Unbecoming by Desiree A. Brown. And Uncanny Valley Girls by Zephyr Lazowski. Now, the winner of this award will be announced by someone very special via video. He is the sponsor of this award, a champion of storytelling, and yes, also known to many of you as Lemony Snicket. So please turn your attention to the screen for Daniel Handler.
Check.
Hi there, this is Daniel Handler, aka Lemony Snicket, proud sponsor of the Leslie Feinberg Award. I think literature comes from invisible places, and I'm happy to be a part of this. To celebrate the winner, I have put the name of the winner inside an envelope so I can open it and say, it's Local Woman by Jazzo Jamesy. Woo! Woo!
I'm Stephen Motika, the publisher of Nightboat Books, and the winner is Giselle James for Local Woman. We're so thrilled. I'd like to thank the Publishing Triangle and share a very brief note Giselle sent over. I'd like to thank my mother, my best friends Ciara and Candace, and everyone at Nightboat for bringing Local Woman to life. This collection is my offering to the rich history of trans folks, Black people, and women everywhere. Thanks so much.
See, I fucked up again. Anyway, stories shape us early, like early. The books we read as kids stay with us. They tell us who we are, who we can be, and sometimes who we're still becoming. That's why this award matters. The Jacqueline Woodson Award for LGBTQ+ children's and YA literature honors books that bring queer lives to young readers, stories of identity, love, history, and figuring yourself out in a world that's still trying to label you. Named for the incredible Jacqueline Woodson, yes, a living legend, very much alive, still writing, still minding her business, icon behavior, this award celebrates the writers, making sure the next generation feels seen, heard, and a little less alone. Now, it's not every day you get to introduce a real living legend, and yes, at this point I'm basically in ballroom. Not legend because Twitter said so, a real one. The 10s are 10ing. Jacqueline Woodson is one of the most important literary voices of our time, a master storyteller whose work spans poetry, fiction, and memoir. She has given us Black and queer narratives with tenderness, honesty, and beauty. A former national ambassador for young people's literature and a MacArthur Genius Fellow, she continues to shape the literary landscape with every book. So please join me in welcoming via video the extraordinary Jacqueline Woodson.
Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline Woodson, and I am here to announce the finalist and the winner for the Jacqueline Woodson Award for LGBTQ+ literature. It's an award that was named after me, which is, a little odd. I know I say this every year because thankfully, inshallah, I am still living. And I just want to, before I announce the books, the finalists and the winners, thank the judges who read a lot of books and spent a lot of time making these glorious decisions. And I want to thank the publishers who, in this crazy era that we're living in of banned books and attempted silencing of our stories, our queer stories, our global majority stories, all the ways in which the attempted erasure of our stories and history is trying to happen. You're standing up and you're showing up and you're doing the work of helping to keep our stories in the world, and I am grateful to you for that. I am also grateful to the Publishing Triangle for the work you've done for so many years and continue to do to amplify our work in the world. It just means a lot, and it means so much more right now. So thank you. And I would be at the ceremony if I was not going to be in Bologna for a book festival. But you know how we say next year in Jerusalem, next year in Palestine, next year in New York for the awards, inshallah. I hope it happens. And in the meantime, I want to announce the finalist and the winner. Finalist number 1, Generation Queer, written by Kim Topping and published by Leon Lowe Books. Planeta, written by Anna Oncina and published by Tokyo Pop. Starfruit, written by Cameron Kingsbury and published by IKB Press. Titan of the Stars, written by E.K. Johnston, published by Tundra Books. We Can Never Leave, written by H.E. Edgman and published by Wednesday Books. And the winner of this year's Publishing Triangle Jacqueline Woodson Award for LGBTQ+ literature about young people goes to H.E. Edgman for We Can Never Leave. Congratulations, H.E. Congratulations, everyone. Please stay safe and enjoy the night and enjoy the beautiful work you've made and continue to make. And hopefully, I will see you in person next year.
Well, H.E. could not be here with us tonight, so I'm honored to accept this award on their behalf. Just know your words are out here doing the work even when you can't be in the room. So let's give it up one more time for our winner. How's everybody doing? It's hot in here, I know. I'm wearing a velvet jacket. I'm like... Okay, so listen. I've committed some crimes, and I love a good crime story. The drama, the secrets, the whodidit energy, and yes, some of us think we could solve it by chapter 3. But make it queer, even better. Higher stakes, sharper stories, and just a little extra chisme. The Joseph Hansen Award for LGBTQ+ crime writing honors an outstanding work of crime fiction or nonfiction. Named for Joseph Hansen, who put queer lives at the center of the mystery, this award celebrates stories that keep us guessing and keep us hooked. With a $1,000 prize, it recognizes writing that proves LGBTQ+ characters are not just part of the story, we're running it. Now joining us by video, yes, I'm gonna say it again, a true legend. Michael Nava is the author of a series of 8 novels featuring gay Latino criminal defense lawyer Henry Rios. He is the recipient of 7 Lambda Literary Awards in the gay mystery category and the Bill Whitehead Award for Lifetime Achievement in LGBT Literature. So please direct your attention to the screen one more time, and let's give it up for Michael Nava.
Hello, this is Michael Nava, and I'm here to present the Joseph Hansen Award for LGBTQ+ crime writing. These are the nominees. Crime, Inc., Iconic, edited by John Copenhaver and Salem West from Bywater Books. Mirage City, Lev A.C. Rosen from Minotaur Books. A Murderous Business, Kathy Pagao from Minotaur Books. The Smallest Day, J.M. Redman from Bold Strokes Books. The Tiger and the Cosmonaut by Eddie Bedell Tan from Viking, Canada. And the recipient is Mirage City, Lev A.C. Rosen, Minotaur Books. Congratulations.
Hi. I did not prepare anything. Thank you so much to Publishing Triangle and to my family and my publisher, Minotaur. And thank you also to, this is the 4th book in the series, and the whole reason it was bought by my original editor was because of an editorial assistant who was just reading through everything and said, oh, this needs to go to my straight editor. And she really fought for it to make sure that she understood why it was so important. So thank you to everyone working in publishing, fighting to get these books in front of the people who have the power to publish them. Thank you.
Listen, I had to switch it up for this one because when you bring out our next presenter, you don't come out basic. Also, I'm up here all night long. Our next award honors the power behind the scenes, the people making sure LGBTQ+ books don't just get published, they get noticed, passed around, and yes, sometimes challenged, which only reminds us why they're necessary. The Michelle Carlsberg Leadership Award celebrates the editors, agents, institutions, and literary badasses who keep queer stories visible, accessible, and impossible to ignore. Named for the, what's that word again? Legendary? Michelle Carlsberg, this award recognizes the kind of leadership that opens doors and makes sure they stay open. And yes, there is a $500 prize because even revolutionaries deserve a little cash. Now, to present this award, someone who has never once asked for permission and never will. Karen Finley is an artist, performer, and author known, give it up, give it up. Give it up. Karen Finley is an artist, performer, and author known for her raw, transgressive work that has sparked both debate and transformation. She was the named plaintiff in the landmark Supreme Court case Finley versus National Endowment for the Arts, challenging restrictions on artistic expression. Her work has been presented internationally, and she is the author of 10 books, most recently COVID, Vortex, Anxiety, Opera, Kitty, Kaleidoscope, Disco, which is either a book title or exactly how my brain felt since 2020. A Guggenheim Fellow, she is the Professor of Art and Public Policy at New York University. Please welcome the fearless and, yes, legendary Karen Finley.
It feels so good to be here. Thank you, everyone who has contributed to make this evening happen. And it really does feel good to be here when outside feels so challenging. And so I want to just thank everyone again. It really feels good to be here. And it is a pleasure to introduce my friend and my colleague, Amy Shoulder. Amy and I met over 35 years ago. I didn't want to say nearly 40. I crossed that out for the archives. And, oh my God, well, there's been a lot, right? And she has edited 5 of my books, and she is written in my life. Thank you, Amy, for everything that you've done for so many and for my life. Amy is an extraordinary and enthusiastic publisher, editor, and producer, supporting and recognizing artists and writers and their projects before others feel that they are deserving, and she sees that work and recognizes it and does the hard and heavy lifting. Amy is not afraid of marginalized voices. Amy fights for social justice, for peace, against misogyny, homophobia, and transphobia, and encourages experimentation in innovation in culture. In recent years, Amy has expanded from editing and publishing, and Amy Shoulder has produced 3 highly acclaimed feature films, Heightened Scrutiny, which is so important, which follows ACLU attorney Chase Strangio to the Supreme Court. My Name is Andrea, a hybrid documentary about Andrea Dworkin, and Disclosure, a history of transgender representation in film and TV. Thank you, Amy, for all that work. As a visionary leader in independent book publishing, Amy Shoulder has brought high visibility to her authors and has been praised for her contribution to contemporary literature and popular culture. Her authors include Sapphire, June Jordan, Kathy Acker, Ann Castillo, Coco Fusco, Gary Indiana, Paul Preciado, Virginia Despont, Kate Millett, Jill Johnston, Barbara Hammer, Joni Mitchell, Justin Vivian Bond, Stephen Rains, and Pamela Sneed, to name a few. And over the years, she has managed imprints at the Feminist Press, High Risk Books, Serpent's Tail, Verso, and 7 Stories, and always making sure that the queer stories were published there. She is an editor-at-large at City Lights Books. And I'd also like to include that she worked at and was an editor at Art Space Books, which first published Memories That Smell Like Gasoline, which was republished by Night Books. She serves on the board of directors for the One Institute, Nightboat Books, and City Lights Foundation. So this is a person, our colleague here, who gives to other organizations, nonprofits, with her time and energy year after year. Amy, you are so deserving of this prestigious award. You are inspiring, generous, dedicated, passionate, and you support and you are part of the art revolution that we need here today. And your radical imagination in publishing is defiant, resilient, and rebellious. Thank you for your work, and congratulations. Come on up.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is such an honor, and especially to be singled out by my peers and by this organization in particular. And I just want to make a special note of thanks to David Groff and Michelle Carlsberg. We have been in community now for decades, and your leadership and dedication has been such an important example for me and for all of us in this room. And it's such a pleasure to share this evening with Christos. I was so excited to see that she was getting the Lifetime Award tonight. I'm just in awe of her work, and I hope this is only the beginning of much deserved recognition. In thinking about what I wanted to say this evening in my 3 minutes, and now I'm realizing I'm going over already. I just realized I just wanted to give heartfelt thanks for having the privilege to do work that I love and which has been in service to a deep belief in queer culture and its free expression. From my early days as an editor at City Lights Books in San Francisco, I came to understand that publishing is really about relationships. It's where I learned how to listen, how to collaborate, to lean into what's working, and to back off when things are not conducive to creativity. It's where I learned how to follow my intuition about what I was reading and who I was meeting, and to take chances not only on work that is so clearly brilliant and necessary, but sometimes to take chances on work that makes me feel uncomfortable and maybe I don't completely understand in the first encounter. Publishing is where I learned how to believe in the wisdom of colleagues whose strengths could make up for what aren't my strengths. I've had such good fortune to work with people like Gavin Browning at Verso and Elizabeth Koch at the Feminist Press at early stages in their careers, and to see them now in leadership positions in their own fields. It's so moving to me, and I'm so proud to be friends with people of such integrity. I've learned hard lessons about working relationships that aren't mutually respectful and how to move away from those and to do so, to try to do so without rancor. I've stepped away from publishing full-time in the last decade, but I get pulled back because powerful work draws me in and feels necessary to bring forth, and I'm so grateful I can still be in this business and publish people like Karen Finley and Stephen Rains and Pamela Sneed. And lastly, I just want to go back to my beginnings as a young person in the middle of the AIDS crisis. I had such a strong desire to publish work that could soothe and wake up or connect, educate, stimulate, like make you laugh and cry and feel like life was worth living. And I was introduced then to Karen Finley by our mutual friend Rex Ray. And yes, it was like around 1988. And I saw her perform and I listened to her gifts with language, and I just wanted to do anything with her and bring her voice to the page and to as many readers as possible. So that began our lifelong journey of making books and my journey of making books ever since, and our having phone calls and sharing our lives. And I just thank you, Karen, for getting me started in this life and sustaining me as a friend, and for your words and for being an author. just being in your orbit has made my life more conscious and meaningful and has kept my sense of humor alive, which I think we all know now is like the only thing that will save us against all these terrible odds that we're in right now. And I guess I just lastly want to thank all of you tonight. As Karen said, it's just, there's really no substitute for being in a room together. You know, as I think especially for like a bunch of book nerds like us who like would probably rather be home, you know, reading. But I'm so deeply touched by this award and by your presence, so thank you.
Again, how's everybody doing? We're almost there. Nonfiction tells the truth, or at least it better. It captures our history, calls things out, and says what others avoid. And Randy Shilts did exactly that, fearlessly and unapologetically, at a time when the truth was being ignored. The Randy Shilts Award for Gay Nonfiction honors that legacy. It recognizes a book that informs, challenges, and makes a real impact on the lives of gay, bisexual, and trans men. This award also carries its own history, long supported by the legendary editor Michael Denny, and now continued through his brother Joe Denny. So yes, there's legacy here and responsibility. Now, to present this award, a fellow board member and someone who knows a thing or two about literary legacy and doing the work. Jim Berg is a writer, editor, and consultant. His academic work, published as James J. Berg, includes The Isherwood Century, edited with Chris Freeman, which won the Lambda Literary Award for Gay Studies in 2000. His most recent book is Isherwood on Writing. He is also a freelance developmental editor and consultant, working with writers on academic and non-academic projects. So please welcome Jim Berg.
Thanks for that introduction. I was talking to a colleague today, or recently, about the importance of storytelling, especially right now, as we've been hearing, when our government is trying to erase us. I got this t-shirt, as many of you will know, from the National Stonewall Monument Visitors Center, where they've tried to take the trans community out of our history. My colleague said, "We must tell bold stories right now." And all of the books nominated for this award are bold stories. But more than that, she said, we must simply tell our stories, because telling our stories in today's climate is a bold act, and even perhaps an act of rebellion. So the nominees for the Randy Shilts Award for Gay Nonfiction are American Scare by Robert Feisler from Dutton, Baldwin, A Love Story by Nicholas Boggs from Farrar, Straus, and Giroux, Don Bacardi, An Artist's Life by Michael Schreiber from Citadel Press, The Einstein of Sex by Daniel Brooke from W.W. Norton and Company, and The Intermediaries by Brandy Schillis, also by W.W. Norton. And the award goes to Baldwin, A Love Story by Nicholas Boggs.
Hi, I'm not Nicholas Boggs. I'm Una Holohan, and I work on the editorial team here at FSG, and Nick was sorry that he couldn't be here, but he sent along a note that he asked that I read. It has always been a dream of mine to be recognized with a Publishing Triangle Award, so I send my sincere thanks to the awards committee. James Baldwin means so much to so many people in the room tonight, I'm sure, and I know that reading him has helped so many to find a way towards their own self-understanding, personally and politically. His life and work certainly did this for me as a gay man and a writer. So this award is immensely meaningful to me, not just as an affirmation of years of work, but also as a further confirmation of Baldwin's enduring significance as a towering figure of Black and queer literature, whose voice and legacy are more important and necessary to amplify today than ever before. So thank you, Publishing Triangle. Thank you to my publisher, FSG, and congratulations to all the finalists and awardees of all categories tonight. I would like to dedicate this award to my super brilliant and super gay mentor, the late, great Richard McCann. Thank you.
Now we turn to a writer who helped define what queer nonfiction can be. Because this work doesn't just tell stories, it documents, disrupts, and reclaims what has too often been erased. And Judy Grahn has been doing exactly that for decades. Through The Common Woman, Another Mother Tongue, and A Simple Revolution, she gave us language, history, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and each other. The Judy Grahn Award for Lesbian Nonfiction, established in 1997, honors that legacy. It recognizes a book that expands how we see queer women's lives, past and present, and pushes the conversation forward. Because these stories are not background, they are foundation. Now, to present this next award, we have someone who truly lives at the intersection of scholarship, poetry, and community. Julie R. Enzer, PhD, is a scholar, editor, and poet whose work helps preserve and expand the legacy of lesbian literature. Her forthcoming scholarly book, A Fine Band, traces the history of lesbian feminist presses from 1969 to 2009. So yes, she's doing the archival work and making sure we don't forget where we come from. She is the author of 6 poetry collections, most recently Lamed Vavniks, did I say that right? And serves as the editor and publisher of Sinister Wisdom, one of the most important lesbian literary and arts journals out there. So she's not just studying the culture, she's sustaining it. So please join me in welcoming Julie Enzer.
Thank you, Emanuel, for that introduction. Good evening, everyone. I'm so pleased to bring to you warm greetings from the Sinister Wisdom community. As Emanuel said, we are the lesbian literary and arts journal publishing since 1976, and we're so happy to be celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. Thank you. It is really a delight for us to be a part of the beloved community of LGBTQ publishers that the Publishing Triangle builds and supports. I thank the board and all of the judges and readers and folks involved with the organization for their important work. So now, the finalists for the Judy Grahn Award for Lesbian Nonfiction are, they're up there, All the Parts We Exile by Rosa Nozari, Beyond the Lesbian Vampire by Sam Tobbett, Milena and Marguerite, A Love Story in Ravensbrück by Gwen Strauss, No Offense, A Memoir in Essays by Jackie Dominus, and Worthy of the Event, an Essay by Vivian Blaxall. And the winner is Beyond the Lesbian Vampire by Sam Tobbett.
Thank you so much. First, I wanted to extend my deepest gratitude to the Publishing Triangle and to the judges. To be a finalist amongst such an amazing group of writers is truly an honor. And being recognized by this organization, which has championed LGBTQ literature since the year I was born, is something I don't take lightly. For too long, our stories were relegated to the monstrous, the tragic, or the peripheral. But in those tropes, there was also a strange subversive power. Beyond the Lesbian Vampire reclaims that history. It peels back the layers of the monstrous and finds the complicated humanity underneath. At its core, this work examines how to take the tropes once used to marginalize us and repurpose them for our own pleasure and power. This book's for every queer person who's felt complicated about identifying and empathizing with monsters on screen, for those who find solace in the imaginative world of queer horror, when the real world is too horrific to bear. Thank you to my partner for encouraging me to follow my passions and step away from filmmaking to do this research. I also want to thank the team at University of Wales Press for supporting academic work in horror studies and believing in the universality of a project that doesn't apologize for being solely about lesbians. It's been such a joy to bring this book into the world and delve into the history of the violent lesbian representation in cinema and identify the new iteration of this figure in the 2010s. So thank you so much.
We're at the halfway mark. Yay! Okay, so every great writer has a beginning. That first book, that first story, that moment when you realize, okay, I'm really doing this. And let's be honest, that takes courage. The Betty Bresson Emerging Writer Award celebrates that moment. It honors an LGBTQ+ writer already showing real talent, a distinct voice, and that spark that tells you they're just getting started. Named for Betty Bresson, a pioneering psychotherapist and activist who helped create space for so many of us to live openly and fully, this award carries that same spirit of possibility. With a $1,500 prize, we're not just recognizing where these writers are now, we're saying, we see where you're going, and we can't wait to follow. Our next presenter is a friend of mine, J.P. Howard. Give it up. She's a poet, educator, and curator. Her debut poetry collection, Say Mirror, was a Lambda Literary finalist. JP has received fellowships from Cave Canem, Vona, and Lambda Literary. She curates Women Writers in Bloom Poetry Salon. Please help me welcome my sister in verse, JP Howard.
Thanks, Manny. Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. The Publishing Triangle is thrilled to present Mariah Rigg with the 2026 Betty Bresson Emerging Writer Award. As you heard, it's named after the late trailblazing author Betty Bresson. She was an author, a psychotherapist, an activist, and a pioneer in the LGBTQ mental health advocacy. She actually played a key role in challenging the pathologization of LGBTQ+ identities. And she was part of the movement that led to homosexuality being removed from the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. That's important, especially now. Her work helped reshape mental health care into something more affirming, ethical, and human. It's a legacy that we still feel across queer well-being spaces today. So it's an honor to give this award to Mariah Rigg, a Samoan Haole who was born and raised on the island of Oahu. She is the author of the short story collection, Extinction Capital of the World, winner of the 2026 Asian Pacific American Award for Literature, and the hybrid chapbook, All Hat, No Cattle. Her work has been awarded fellowships from the National Endowment for the Arts, Mass MoCA, Virginia Center for the Creative Arts, Oregon Literary Arts, and Lambda Literary, among others. She holds an MFA from the University of Oregon and a PhD from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Help me welcome and congratulate Mariah Rigg on this well-deserved honor. Yay.
Hi, friends. Thank you so much, JP, for that really wonderful introduction, and thank you, Manny, for introducing all of us ever. When I got the call that I got this award, I couldn't believe it. I started crying in my car, as I often do, when it comes to any events ever. Especially because there are so many people that I love and respect, especially people in this room who I think deserve this award as much as me. And so I think just sending it all out there to all of you is really special for me too. So thank you for being here in community with me together. I know I'll probably miss someone, but I wanted to start off with endless thank yous. To Publishing Triangle for bringing us all together and for recognizing and making space for queer writers. To Teresa Di Crescenzo for the sponsorship of this award. To Betty Burzin, whose life we honor. And as was said, whose work was instrumental in queer rights. To my agent, Amy Bishop-Wiseck, who is always championing my endless queer love stories that I'm writing. And to my publisher, Echo, and my editor, Rachel Sargent, who is here tonight. To my teachers, Marjorie Salona, Mary Gatskill, Nora Keller, and Casey Plett. To my friends and my family. This book would not exist without your love and without your labor, so thank you so much. I've been thinking a lot about the role of making art, and I've always been thinking about this under a settler colonial state as someone who is queer, as someone who is disabled, as someone who is Samoan, and as someone who was born and raised as a settler of Hawaiian land. There will always be those who claim that writing is not enough, and a lot of them don't read. But I do think that, like, along with words on the page, we should also practice goodness with whatever means accessible to us. But along with this, the fantasies that we share and create can liberate us, as so many people have said tonight, and do make change in the physical forms and systems that shape our existence. The books we write and the labor that we use to create them on our streets, in our schools, and our broader communities have and will continue to change the world. So thank you all for being a part of that. As our lives become increasingly policed, I found myself drawn to artists who practice boundlessness. Artists like Finnegan Shannon, whose practice asks not how their disability and their queerness limits, but in contrast expands their desires and their world. Artists like Phyllis Birkby, a leader of the lesbian feminist movement and one of the first women architects who is environmental fantasy workshops. If you're in Northampton, which is where I live, you should go to Smith College and look at them. They're fucking amazing. Sorry, F-bomb. Asked women to illustrate their ideal living spaces, homes, cities, worlds, free of pragmatic constraints. These people make me want to take up space. They make me want to write. They make me want to live. In the coming weeks and months and years, I am trying, and I urge all of us to continue to do what we can and think about what we can make possible when we continue to read the world through a boundless reparative lens, and to ask like what we might bring into being through rejecting the binaries and borders of a settler colonial state. I am so excited for the worlds that we create, and I am so excited to be here with you all. So thank you.
A debut book is a moment. Equal parts excitement, nerves, and a little, ay Dios mío, what did I just do? It's that first bold step where a writer says, this is who I am, aquí estoy. And tonight, we celebrate that courage. The Edmund White Award for Debut Fiction honors an outstanding first novel or story collection by an emerging LGBTQ+ writer, voices brave enough to take up space and trust that we are listening. Named for the legendary Edmund White, this award carries both legacy and possibility. Now, here to present the award is someone whose name I am about to approach with confidence and possibly still mess up. After last year, expectations are low. Rakesh Suthyal? Close, okay, thank you. He's the author of the novels Blue Boy and No One Can Pronounce My Name, and Neither Can I. Blue Boy was a finalist for the Edmund White Award and is currently being developed as a feature film by actor and director Nick Dodani. Rakesh is currently an executive editor at the Harper One Group at HarperCollins and lives in Brooklyn. So please welcome Rakesh Suthyal.
Hello, everybody. What a lovely evening. Ed was, as you might all guess, Mariah, you'll be in good company, the funniest fucking person in the world. And he was my teacher when I was an undergrad, and then we became dear friends when I lived here in the city. And he really was such a mentor to so many of us. He was always welcoming, always ready with a quip and with some deep, deep advice that would help. And I should say, in addition to his being very wise, for example, on my 25th birthday, he and my creative writing cohort found a copy online of The Joy of Gay Sex, and Ed inscribed it to me, Rakesh, you taught me everything I know. So it gives you a good example of how he thought. One thing I'd like to say about Ed is that he had that rare ability that I think we see only once in a blue moon, where he was writing his best books his entire life. And so a lot of his later novels, if you haven't read them, read them, because they are just as daring and bold and extraordinary as all of his other work. And I think it says something about him that the last time I saw him, about a month before he passed, he read me a few pages from the novel that he was working on. He was always working on 3 books at a time. And they were amazing. They were so entertaining, so funny, so smart. And I think the way that people keep living is for people to keep reading their work and to keep buying their work. And I would say, somebody who works in book publishing, who writes as well, it's great to talk about books, it's great to amplify them, but if you have the means, you have to buy them. And you have to check them out from the library, and you have to engage with them in that way. And so I would encourage you, if there are books by Ed you haven't read, read them, buy them, read them, share them. And for all the writers who are here tonight, buy their books. Go and buy them, read them. So here are the wonderful finalists for the Edmund Wright Award for Debut Fiction. Everything is Fine Here by Irene Tushabi by House of Anansi Press. Good Girl by Arya Aber, published by Hogarth. Lonely Crowds by Stephanie Wambugu, published by Little Brown & Company. To the Moon and Back by Eliana Ramage, published by Simon & Schuster, avid reader. And Woodworking by Emily St. James, published by Zando Crooked Media Reads. And the winner is Lonely Crowds by Stephanie Wambugu. Stephanie could not be here tonight, so her wonderful editor, Vivian Lee, is accepting for her.
I'm honored to be accepting this award on behalf of Stephanie, who has written a short speech that I will now read. Thank you very much. This is a huge honor, and I regret that I can't be in New York tonight to receive it. I always miss New York when I leave, and one of the things I love most about it is being pushed into constant proximity to interesting strangers. When you talk to or watch people you do not know in a city as varied as this one, you come to understand the richness of each individual's story, only the surface of which comes across in these limited, passing interactions. Many people walk around carrying several books' worth of personal history, psychological insight, and keen observations accrued from living with nowhere to put them. What separates writers from everyone else, I imagine, is the compulsion to use language in a particular and relentless way and good fortune. I think that writers are lucky, or that I have been. I am fortunate to be able to spend my time writing, and even more fortunate to have found an audience for my modest contributions. Another instance of my good fortune has been being able to both love and be loved by women and men in my life. Alongside those relationships, I have had equally impactful relationships with books about similar passions. Horse Crazy by Gary Indiana, Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin, and too many others to name. To be honored as part of this lineage of great gay, lesbian, and bisexual writers, which of course includes the late Edmund White, is a privilege for me, and I send my gratitude from London. Thank you, Stephanie.
Now we're moving into fiction. And you already know this is where we get messy, where we fall in love, break up, commit crimes, solve crimes, travel through time, and still somehow make it back for brunch. Fiction transports us, challenges us, and reflects the full complexity of our queer lives, the drama, the beauty, the chaos, all of it. The Farrell Grumley Award for LGBTQ+ fiction, founded in 1988, honors excellence in queer storytelling. Named for Robert Farrell and Michael Grumley, partners in life and in literature, this award carries a powerful legacy. Both men died of AIDS, and this award stands as a reminder that our stories endure, that they matter, and that they will continue to hold. Originally recognizing lesbian and gay fiction separately, the award evolved in 2009 into a single category celebrating the full spectrum of LGBTQ+ fiction. Now, presenting this award are two people who truly do the work, not just talking about literature, but showing up for it, advocating for it, and fighting for it. Stephen Greco is a writer, editor, and longtime champion of queer literature, someone who has been holding this space down for years. Sarah Van Arsdale is an acclaimed author and illustrator whose work spans novels, poetry, and storytelling in all its forms. Basically, she said, "I'm not staying in one lane," and we love that. Together, they help carry forward the legacy of Farrell and Grumley, making sure LGBTQ+ fiction continues to thrive and expand. So please give it up for Stephen Greco and Sarah Van Arsdale.
Hi, I'm Sarah Van Arsdale.
And I am Stephen Greco.
Each year, the submissions grow broader, bolder, and more dynamic than last. This year, more than 100 entries stunned us with their range of vision, imagination, and sheer literary craft.
Our 5 finalists reflect 5 distinct answers to the challenge at the heart of the Farrell Grumley Award. Is it exceptional? Is it meaningfully LGBTQ+? Does it matter not only to our readers, but to culture at large?
And as that culture and our democracy disintegrate before our eyes, supporting and creating art and writing is the only way to get through the next insufferable 1,009 days, 17 hours, and 4 minutes.
Let's start reading. The finalists are The South by Tash Awe, published by Farrar, Straus, and Giroux.
Drought by Scott Alexander Hess, published by Rebel Satori Press.
Are You Happy? Stories by Laurie Ostlund, published by Astra House.
I Am You by Victoria Redel, published by SJP Literary.
ASL by Jean Thornton, published by Soho Press. Did we say 5 already?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there are 5 extraordinary accomplishments, and we encourage you to read them all. We were forced to pick 1, but we would have given 5 if we could.
And for a haunting, slow-burning novel set in the contemporary rural South, amid the worn fields of a tobacco farm, where a man's attempt to reclaim the land leads him into a buried history of violence, desire, and curse. The Farrell Grumley Award goes to Scott Alexander Hess for Drought.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I never imagined I would be up here. So, well, that's, whoa, that's shocking. And my husband is here. So I prepared nothing. I thought for sure someone else would win. But But boy, am I honored. As an indie author, I have to thank Publishing Triangle. I'm nervous as fuck, I have to say. And Rebel Satori Press and Sven Davison, who took a chance on my book. And all the indie authors out there. I mean, it's a long track. And things like this, Ruth Gordon, when she won the award for Rosemary's Baby, was old like me. And she said, you can't imagine what something like this means to a person, and I relate to that. And finally, my mother, who passed away, was a great champion of all my work from when I was very, very small. Well, I was 10 or 9 in writing, and she typed them up for me. And she read them all except this one because she passed away. So I will send it up to Mary Alice Hess, and do I take this? I thank you so much. I'm utterly stunned, and I thank you very much.
All of these lines across my face tell you the story of who I am. So many stories of where I've been, and now I got to where I am. But these stories don't mean anything when you've got no one to tell them to. It's true, I was made for you. I climbed across the mountain tops, swam all across the ocean blue. I crossed over lands and I broke all rules, and baby I broke them all for you. Oh, because even when I was flat broke, you made me feel like $1,000,000. You do. I was made for you.
Thank you for holding that moment with us. Now, as we carry that with us, we move into something that is not just storytelling, it's truth-telling, the kind that makes people uncomfortable, the kind that makes people move. Because literature has always been a force for justice, and nobody understood that better than Amber Hollybaugh. The Amber Hollybaugh Award for LGBTQ+ Social Justice Writing Award honors nonfiction that doesn't just sit there looking pretty, it gets into it. Tackling economic injustice, queer youth experiences, sex workers' lives, the stories too often pushed aside or ignored. This kind of writing doesn't just inform, it demands change. And to ground us for a moment, Amber herself received the Judy Grant Award for Lesbian Nonfiction in 2001 for My Dangerous Desires, so this is legacy on top of legacy. Now, presenting this award is someone who knows the literary world from all sides. Parrish Turner is an essayist and editor from Georgia, now based right here in Brooklyn. He's worked at McNally Jackson, HarperCollins, Lambda Literary. If it involves books and queer brilliance, he's been in the room making it happen. We're also proud to have him as a member of the board of the Publishing Triangle. So please welcome Parrish Turner.
I'm honored to be able to present this award. The Amber Hollybaugh Award for LGBTQ+ social justice writing celebrates a unique array of books. These books that are our finalists this year explore the intersections of capitalism, queerness, racism, trauma, Christian hegemony, and the small pieces of culture that touch our lives every day. The finalists for the Amber Holloway Award for LGBTQ+ social justice writing are Jesus Land by Joelle Kidd from ECW Press, Radical Unlearning by Louis Raven Walbach from Beacon Press, The Rainbow Ain't Never Been Enough by Kayla Edia Story, also from Beacon Press, Semi-Well Adjusted Despite Literally Everything by Allison Stoner from St. Martin's Press, and What is Queer Food by John Birdsall from W.W. Norton and Company. And the winner is What is Queer Food by John Birdsall. As he comes up, I just want to say, my boyfriend was told by his PhD thesis advisor that no one was interested in the history of food, let alone its intersection with queerness, and I'm glad someone else did not get that message.
Hi, I'm Andrew Gibley. I'm John's publicist at Norton. He couldn't come in from Tucson tonight, so he has prepared a little speech for me to say. Thank you to the Publishing Triangle's Board of Directors and Awards Committee. Writing queer cultural history is a kind of archaeology of working to excavate stories in the hope that they will challenge, nurture, and delight present and future readers. I'm deeply grateful for your recognition of that work. Thank you, and congrats, John.
Now we move into something major, because some writers don't just write books. They shift culture, they challenge the world, they leave a mark that doesn't fade when the last page is turned. That's legacy. The Bill Whitehead Award for Lifetime Achievement honors an LGBTQ+ author whose work didn't just show up, it changed things. Named for Bill Whitehead, what's that word again? A legendary editor who helped bring queer voices into the mainstream, championing writers like Edmund White, Robert Farrow, and Doris Grumbach. This award recognizes those who made space when there was none, the ones who said, our stories belong here, and make sure they stayed. With a $3,000 prize, this is one of the highest honors of the night. But truly, you cannot put a price on a lifetime of impact like this. This is influence. This is history. This is someone whose work made it possible for the rest of us to be in this room tonight. Now, to present this award, we have someone who has been documenting our lives, our community, and our history for decades. Morgan Gwenwald is one of a small group of out lesbian photographers who emerged during the early days of the gay rights movement. Her work has been featured in numerous publications and exhibitions, most recently Images on Which to Build. Her photography is rooted in something simple but powerful, capturing the world she lives in with honesty and love. After moving to New York in 1979, she began a long-standing relationship with the Lesbian Herstory Archives, which she continues to serve as a coordinator. And there's a beautiful full-circle moment here. Morgan first met Christos in 1986, photographing her at a reading event right here in New York City. So it feels especially meaningful to have her here tonight. Please join me in welcoming Morgan Gwenwald.
Thank you. I'm honored to introduce Christos, the recipient of the Bill Whitehead Award for Lifetime Achievement. Sadly, my dear friend and colleague can't be with us tonight for this happy event, but I trust that she and Sunny, her partner of 22 years, will tune in on their home computer in Washington State. Christos is an internationally known and beloved poet, artist, and activist who is a recipient of an NEA, the Sappho Award of Distinction, the Audre Lorde Poetry Prize, and many other honors. Christos is the author of 8 books, the last being Wilder Ries, a translation in German, Rep Roller Coaster, and Her Eyes Are My Home. her first book, Not Vanishing, her great giveaway, has sold over 2,500 copies. Her gender is dyke, and she refers to herself with feminine pronouns. As I am not a writer, I turn to the words of Gloria Anzaldúa, one of our greatest writers and teachers, to share with you tonight. Christos says, no one is listening, but we are. We are. Her words slide into our throats, feed the hungry soul, fill the lost and homeless heart. Her voice binds into wholeness our severed selves with self-esteem. It calls us away from the death of invisibility, insists that we be seen and accounted to, no longer banished, no longer vanishing. She leaves her howl inside us. Let us welcome Christos tonight.
I'm so sorry I can't be with you tonight because of the problems with TSA, especially because I wanted to make fry bread for everyone for the reception. But David mentioned that there could be a later event, so look forward to fry bread. I first want to say Miigwech and Scott Momaday, who was the first Indian I read in high school, which gave me the idea that I could do it. I could write too. And I also want to say Miigwech to Audre Lorde and Kate Millett and Pat Parker, who were the first to agree with me that I could write and were strong supporters of my work. Also Gloria Anzaldúa. I want to say thank you to Sunny, who's put up with me for 22 years, which is a miracle. And to my dear friend Valerie Street, who's been my friend for over 40 years. She's the only one that has lasted that long. So I'm sitting at my desk where the chaos becomes magic. And I want to say a special miigwech to the Publishing Triangle for this great honor, which has renewed my faith in my work, which, as you probably know, is all out of print. I'm hoping this event will bring me a publisher at long last. Miigwech.
As we wrap it up, let's take a moment to show some real love to the people who made tonight possible. Because none of this just magically happens. A huge thank you to our judges who read all the books, made their tough calls, and did it all as volunteers. That is love, that is commitment, that is real dedication to this community. To our presenters, thank you for showing up, bringing the energy and making these moments feel special. We see you. And of course, to all of our finalists and winners, your words matter. Your stories matter. You are inspiring, challenging, and yes, changing the world one page at a time. So let's do this right. Let's give them one big, loud, unapologetic round of applause. And one more group we need to recognize. I need you to show some real love. Let's hear it for the incredible board of the Publishing Triangle. This is a group doing all of this as volunteers. No big salaries, no fancy perks, just heart, hustle, and a deep love for LGBTQ+ literature, and it shows. So please help me thank our amazing team, Chair Carol Rosenfeld, Rob Burns, David Groff, Gerard Cabrera, Reginald Harris, Cheryl Head, Dan Hendrick, Kay Popple, Gene Redman, Chris Smith, Michael Solis, Parrish Turner, and yes, me too, I'm included. Wait, it's coming. And a huge thank you to the New School for giving us this space to celebrate these incredible voices. Spaces like this matter. To our award funders, thank you for putting your support behind these stories because these writers deserve to be honored fully. And to our volunteers tonight, the real MVPs, thank you for keeping everything running smoothly, on time, and on track. We appreciate you. Now listen. If you want to be a judge next year, come see us. We would love to have you. We're all volunteers, but you will be paid in books. Free books, which, let's be honest, is kind of our currency. To everyone watching virtually, thank you for being part of this. To learn more about membership, visit publishingtriangle.org. And if you're feeling inspired tonight, if you believe in this work, these writers, this community, please consider making a contribution to the Publishing Triangle. Everything you've seen tonight is powered by volunteers and supported by people who believe these stories matter. So join us, support us, and help us keep this going. Now, all winners, please come up to the stage for a quick photo op. And now, for those of you still here in the room, we have a reception waiting for you. This is the best part, party time. But listen carefully, this is the most important instruction of the night. You can come up. If you want to enjoy it, you need to leave right now. I'm not kidding. Grab your coat, grab your bag, grab your award if you won one. Don't be shy and head to Woolman Hall immediately. No loitering, no lingering, no hallway kiki. Save it for the reception. We do have to wrap up by 10:30 p.m. and I want you to actually enjoy yourselves. Have a drink, eat something, celebrate properly. Here's how you get there. Go through the courtyard, take the elevator to the 5th floor, and you're in Woolman Hall. Only 8 people per elevator. Easy, fabulous, worth it. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay safe. Support LGBTQ plus authors. Support our books and support each other. I've been your host, Emanuel Xavier. Thank you.
In your eyes, I never lost my heart.